This is YSM Sports Media. Want to thank you for all your love and support. Really appreciate it. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and click the notification button for all future content. Here with Devon Williams. Good, Dev?
Chilling, tired, very sore. How you?
I'm chilling, man. What you got going on today?
Just strength and conditioning, getting ready to come back this summer and remind them what's up.
Now, you've been out the ring for how long?
2 years now.
How's your body feel?
Well, quarantine eating definitely didn't help. I was coming off of a really bad injury. Like, it was an injury, a knee injury that could have like really altered my career. So, I mean, I'm just being safe about that. But outside of that, it's just, I became a fat boy, and I need to be less than a fat boy. So there you go.
What weight do you normally fight at?
What I would like to fight at is 95, but it doesn't exist in MMA, so I fight at 205. In my younger days, I could make 85, but that's just not happening. Yeah, the size that I have at 85 isn't worth the drainage, which is weird because a lot of guys look bigger than me at 85, but my legs are twice the size of theirs. So that's how that goes.
What's the fine line between being at your right weight and being at the weight that you have the most advantage fighting?
It affects everybody differently. I know for me, at 85, I feel like a bear when I grab people. Like, I imagine this what Khabib feels like. It's just like every time I go against an 85er, it feels like I feel oddly strong against them. 205, what I give up in strength, I make up for just because the cut's a lot easier, obviously, and I'm a lot faster than all those guys, and my power actually transfer up better. I have had way more finishing success at 205. That could just be I have more power because I'm more, rested. I'm not as drained, so I'm more explosive. And those guys are slower, so I'm able to land cleaner. Like, the counters just come off a lot easier. But that's how I feel. I feel like the speed difference is the best thing for me, and I'd rather have that. If I at 95 for me is a perfect mixture of I can get sizely, but I still have that speed. And it's like making 95, I have to be in a certain kind of shape so it's good mentally. When I'm at 205, I feel like I can get a little bit lazy, and sometimes that can make the cut even at 205 harder than it needs to be because I'm a little bit like I'm too comfortable. You feel me?
How much you weigh now?
Let's not even get into that. Definitely not on camera.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you that afterwards. But I'm gonna let people know over quarantine, I'm not there now, but I had got all the way to 348.
Damn.
Yeah. And my normal walk around weight when I'm out of shape is about 235. So this is beyond the biggest I've ever been in my entire life. So I'm nowhere near that now, but yeah, I had got that big.
Now, are you active sparring or you're just training?
I'm still sparring too. I gotta beat up on people.
Now, what did it feel like the first time back?
This is gonna sound really fucked up, but to be honest, the first time back with a good guy, that's the only time that matters. First time back with a good guy, I'm so efficient with my movement and my technique. Not saying that I'm lazy, because guys actually feel like I push a hard pace, but I'm very efficient. So I don't use a whole bunch of energy. So that immediate drop off that I would feel from being a fat boy, I haven't felt yet in its entirety. because I was so dominant. Like skill wise, like he was trying to push a hard pace, but it's just like he's just running the air. So it didn't really. I haven't felt it yet. I feel it working out. Working out, I feel it, and it hurts my feelings that I can't hit close to numbers that I was hitting, but that's the consequence of slacking during quarantine. There was some other stuff going on in my life, but that's the consequence. So I gotta deal with it.
When would you expect you to be back in the ring?
So I am, stupidly enough, just because it's something I probably shouldn't do. I need to fight to like just mentally work, like shift into that extra gear. So my next couple fights, I'm actually going to be taking at heavyweight, which I'm not going to be anywhere near the size of a heavyweight. But it's just to kind of like get the ring rust off. Like honestly, I'm not going to be taking on great guys. It's just I need to be fighting, you know.
So you're going up against turkeys.
I mean, I feel like everybody turkeys, to be honest with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like how I am. Like I wouldn't step in there if I didn't feel like it was a person that could actually beat. I mean, anybody can beat me, but and I have like one loss in my life, but it's still like I don't know. But I mean, a heavyweight turkey is still a dangerous guy to somebody that's not a real heavyweight, especially in MMA. It's going to make me sharper. It's gonna get my fight sense really sharp. Just because you got to dodge anvils and keep giant guys off of you. And fix the camera a little bit. And I'm not gonna just be able to go in there and just punch a guy 2-3 times, him fold up, and then it'd be over. Like I'm gonna be able to work some rounds out in there. So if I get heavyweight guys, I'll be able to get those rounds in of pushing and pulling and having to be on guard. And once I get back to my actual weight, then I'll be starting to scale up. But here's the thing, and this is going to be the all young fighters, because I think it's because all the injuries that I just recently went through, and like my career just being like I have 3 fights and then I'm off for a year because I got to have shoulder surgery. Then I do 2 fights and I'm off for another year and a half because I have to have knee surgery. Then I have to take time off because I have, neck issues, compressed disc in my neck. I used to be, as when I was younger, just like Kingslayer mindset. It's just like, I don't want to fight anybody I know I can beat. I don't want to fight anybody like that. Like I was always like, I want to fight the best guys even from the start. Now, this doesn't apply to everybody, but this does apply to a lot of young fighters, especially in Philadelphia, because we have a different way of grooming a fighter, which is you take a guy who, has talent at a young age, maybe 16, 17, and you start putting him in there with pros, taking him around to other gyms just so he can get real good looks. And the reality is that all those rounds against really good guys add up on your body. It just is what it is.
Mm.
And it's like, you got 2 ways of doing it. You can take on all the best guys early on in your career if you have you're kind of isolated and you don't have that type of work to go with. Locally, if you can't pull in on that work or bring that work into your camp through paying them or whatever, then yeah, take on the best guys. So you got to test yourself early. But if you're in there with good guys, like if you've been able to spar with top 20 guys, top 10 guys, and you're able to do that on a fairly regular basis, you already know if you can compete with those guys. So there's no need of doing that in your career where one loss can offset your trajectory. One loss can be the difference of a title shot in 1 year or the next 3 years. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like I've already put those rounds in with great guys. And a lot of these up and coming guys as pros, I smashed in amateurs, or I smashed like when they pulled me into camp. I've been kicked out of camps for beating the shit out of some of these guys. Like guys will call me in, and it's like I probably have gotten on average 2 rounds when I get booked for 4 or 5. I normally get like 2 rounds, and then it's always I got to go pick up my kid or some shit like that. So I've already like done what I needed to do to prove to myself that I can hang with those guys. You feel me? So it's like now it's just getting there, protecting my body. So when I do get to the spot where all I have is murderer's row, I haven't put on extra damage throughout my career. You feel me?
Mm.
So, but that doesn't apply to everybody. If you're from West Bumblefuck and you don't have anybody to like spar with, you got to go put that work in early on in your career.